Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Southtown Garage. My name is Kurt, back working on the Ford Explorer ST. And what are we doing? We're getting rid of this. That's right, we're putting on exhaust on our Ford Explorer. And it's not super hard. It's fairly simple. Here's a couple of things to go over before taking this exhaust out. You want to undo this clamp here, these two clamps here. Everything is attached to this exhaust. These brackets are welded to this exhaust. So now that we have this apart, we can start pushing out exhaust mounts that hold this thing in, and we can pull this out. This is going to be a one-piece removal. Unfortunately, that is what it is. It is what it is. So we're going to start probably taking apart the front and see if we can slide everything back. My goodness, working on new vehicles is nice. Like, you look up there, I've already pushed this out a ways. I pushed that one out a ways. Got these pipes out. We've got this exhaust coming back. Looks like quite nicely, I might add. We just need to pop these ends out and then we can slide this whole thing out. I can't believe it that this is how you take exhaust out of a newer vehicle. I've never done a newer vehicle. I've always done something that's at least 10 years old. Kind of nice, refreshing. We have the V-bands in place. We've got to sort of see what's going on there. We've got them both sort of tack welded in place with these pieces all ready to go. Now we have to play the game of how to get that out. You see I've got an extension in there. That should be fun. Apparently they said you have to drop the transmission subframe down. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to try to do this the hard way, and I'm going to try to get in there and remove those bolts. Now, I'm going to show you sort of how nasty it is up there. I feel like this side's probably a lot easier, just because you can probably see the bolts, but I will let you judge that. So up in the top there, it's very hard to see from here, but there are the bolts. Maybe it's easier to see on this side. You see where that U-joint goes there. That's where the one side is. The other one's on the other side, so it makes it a challenge to get to. The other nice challenging thing is that it's not just a regular O2 sensor, it's a wideband O2 sensor. And that goes up to the top there on the transmission. So I gotta disconnect that wire way up there and then try to get this out without taking the subframe, dropping this piece down.
One eternity later.
So what we're going to do next is we've removed these two 7 mils right over here. I'll throw up a quick picture. Exposing these two subframe bolts. We have these two we have to undo, and then we have two near the front here that we have to lower it down. Now, I've tried taking this top bolt out of this exhaust downpipe. It's fun. The other thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need an 18 mil bolt for all of these subframes. And I don't know what this is, but I will tell you when I figure it out. You're gonna also have to have something like this in order to support the transmission. Now, if you don't have something like this, like what I borrowed from my buddy Randy, you're probably gonna have to use a block of wood. I've seen guys use that. And just hold it up. Just don't ever be in the vicinity of it if it's more than one piece. I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna get to work. Put the music back on. Get. Yeah. So let's just do a quick recap on what we've done so far. In order to get this downpipe out on this side, we had to lower the subframe down in order so we could get that top bolt. And this is what we were using to try to get up in there. We had a swivel on the end with the socket. It wasn't very easy. Another problem we had is that the nut did not come off, the stud came out. So everything came out with it. In order to do this job, I would recommend these two ratchets. You want a long ratchet that moves like this so that you're able to get in there with a small extension. I used E24 to remove it. The proper socket is an E22. With that socket, you would have to get a 1/2 inch to 3/8 step up so you could connect to this one. The other thing I did was I got this small ratchet. Now, you don't necessarily have to get that ratchet. Now, I understand Snap-on's quite expensive and gear wrench isn't quite as expensive as Snap-on. So what you can do is you can buy a gear wrench and you can sacrifice it for the cause. What I mean by sacrifice is you're going to have to cut it. So maybe look at this. It's not a very long ratchet, but when you're up in that tight area, those extensions won't work. To get this to break loose, go ahead. Use the long extensions. Once it's loose, use something like this that's going to be tied up against the back of the downpipe. The catted downpipes, the stock ones are pretty hefty. If you're planning to go about this process, I would recommend getting the factory stud right here with the factory nut, this nut here, to replace what you're doing. I'm not sure if this was damaged by me or because I had a recall done on this Explorer and they replaced the cats because I already had one leaking. Not sure. It's probably that one that they replaced, to be honest. These are pretty reasonable. This is not. But if you don't buy it, you're going to need it. And if you're probably going to be doing stuff like what I'm doing to my Explorer, then I would recommend buying a spare set of gaskets. The other thing we're doing is we're welding on the V-bands onto the downpipe here because the stock exhaust from the performance shop where my friend took it, that's what they did. They welded on V-bands. Now, realistically, if you're doing your own exhaust system, don't do this. This takes a lot of work. Then you're gonna have to TIG weld everything. It's gonna be a bit of a hassle. The other thing we're doing is we're doing other downpipes as well. So these are I can't remember what these are called, what brand these are, but we're gonna put an extension on these. We're also gonna V-band these. These are the ones that we're gonna end up running. However, for testing purposes, we're gonna run the stock ones for now to see where the difference is. And yes, of course, I'm also going to be putting in a catless downpipe, not for street use. I know I've done some questionable things with emissions equipment in the past, but that's not what this vehicle is about. The only reason I have these is because the owner of the Explorer handed them off with the other downpipes. I am only doing this for testing purposes only. I'm not going to drive it on the road without emissions. I'm going to say it again. I'm not going to drive it on the road without emissions. Emissions in this vehicle are going to stay in the vehicle. Why is that? Well, because a lot of things are changing lately. Realistically, I want to see what kind of power this makes with stock emissions. Well, with emissions, maybe not stock ones. Now that I've talked enough, we need to put these studs in up here. And for that, we're using a 1/4-inch ratchet with an E10 socket. Now, realistically, this is between 8 and a 10. So it could be an E9. I couldn't find that specific socket. However, this also may be a Torx Plus, which I'm betting that's what it is. For what I'm doing, you can use the E10 if you have it, or use a 12-point 1/4-inch and use that as well. So let's go ahead and start putting that up in there. We welded this up. We made sure to take the O2 sensors out, and realistically, the top one's actually a wideband. So you want to be specifically concerned with that. If you weld with something as sensitive as a wideband, you could damage it. Oh dear. I know what some of you are thinking. You're like, Kurt, what in the absolute heck are you doing, man? And that's a very good question. However, I don't have a very good answer for you. Because I'm doing this for you, viewers. Yes, I took out stock downpipes to weld on a V-band that I did an absolutely terrible job doing. Thank you, professional welder here. And I'm going to put this back up in. Why? So we can test it. Because what good is a vehicle that can do between 350 and 800 horsepower if you can't test what different things do? Because at the end of the day, when you're spending your hard-earned money on performance parts, these aren't cheap. Let's give an example. So I have 2 sets of downpipes besides these. And if you're looking to buy a set of downpipes, you're looking at about $900 US for one set. Maybe you want an intake. Maybe you want something else. Whatever that is, an exhaust, for instance. This exhaust, if I were to buy from someone right now, after COVID money, is $20-something $100. You have to find where you can spend the money. So that's what I want to do with this Explorer, is show you guys what mods make the best money. Wow, that sounded really dumb. I want to show you guys what mods are the best bang for your money. Your buck. Bang for your buck. I want to show you guys what mods are the best bang for your buck. And the only way to do that is for me to make my life miserable for you. You're welcome. What we had to do is we replaced every stud on these turbos except for one because, well, it just wouldn't come out. We cleaned up the threads. And one thing to warn you on is that if you do that, it becomes very loose. The nut going onto the exhaust on that one stud that you've cleaned the threads is loose. It's very easy to turn. And I believe these are a friction fit nut so that they don't back off. So what I had to do is I added some blue Loctite to that one stud. And you're like, what? It's exhaust, you moron. You don't do that. Well, you do if you don't want it to come off. No joke. Because we're going to thread this back up. The other thing to know is when you're taking your wideband sensor off, there are 2 different wideband sensors. This one, being extremely long, goes on this side. Just so you know, the shorter one goes on the passenger side, and that one's fun to click in, whereas this one's actually not that bad. It loops around outside of the engine and compartment area, and yeah, it's not that bad. So let's go ahead and slide this in. I needed a nut. In the beginning, I dropped the subframe on this to make it easier to get these things out. Now, one thing you have to know is once you've done this once, you know you can do this without doing that. I was told you don't have to do that, but you know, I really couldn't get to that other side. This side is the easier side, so I've left this one till last. So let's go ahead and throw this up into place. That was the outside one. Just spinning that by hand, I was able to sort of get that thing into place. Now, I just got to do the inside one, which is a new stud, so I'm not putting Loctite on it. And I'm using the old nuts because I'm nuts. Nope, nope, nope. Losing it. Hold on. Hold on. Ah, mint. Well, that's it for this episode of South Down Garage. If you want to help us out, we just launched a shop store so you can grab our merchandise. I've ordered some things so you guys will see it very soon. I wanted to let you know, just in case you're curious, to go take a look at it before I show it in the next few videos coming up here. It's going to be southdowngarage.shop. Link will be in the description. Go check something out there. If you like this video, hit that like button. Consider subscribing. We have some interesting content coming out in the next few weeks. Next video is going to be injectors. We're going to put injectors in this thing. We're going to get it ready for some fun things coming up very soon. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Take care, and we'll see you on another episode of South Down Garage. Bye for now.